Now, the US is all set to host a foreign ministers' virtual meeting on Afghanistan future policy. The foreign minister, Antony Blinken, will host the conference with America's quote unquote key partners. Now, the partners, and as per the State Department, the participant nations will discuss an aligned approach for the days and weeks ahead for the war-torn country. The participating nations are Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, Turkey, and Qatar. Now, apart from these nations, the representatives from the European Union and NATO are also set to join. Later in the day, Blinken will also be speaking on the American efforts since the 14th of August. This comes just one day ahead of the 31st of August deadline. Blinken said that only 250 U.S. citizens are left to be evacuated from Afghanistan. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has assured that Americans who have decided to stay beyond the deadline will not be stuck in Afghanistan, and the U.S. has a mechanism to get them out. As most countries have completed their evacuation operations, 100 countries have now issued a joint statement citing that the Taliban has vowed to allow continued departures. This even after the U.S. troop withdrawal deadline. It will allow foreigners and Afghans with foreign travel papers to leave the country in a safe and orderly manner. The important thing to note here is that China and Russia were not among the signatories to the document. China has time and again showed their pro-Taliban stance. After it refused to sign the joint statement, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi told the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in a phone call that the international community should engage with Afghanistan's new Taliban rulers and positively guide them. Now, China wants Washington to work with the international community to provide economic and humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, help the new regime run governmental functions normally, maintain social stability, and stop the currency from depreciating. Meanwhile, India is also not a part of the document issued by the 100 countries. India is still deliberating to adopt a wait-and-watch policy on Afghanistan, at least until there is clarity on any entity forming government in Kabul. And now we are being joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani live from New York for more on this. Good evening to you, Susan. Now, with just a day left for the drawdown, what is the significance of this meeting which U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will be holding today, and what can we expect?
You know, Allison, one of the most important aspects of this meeting, first of all, is for everyone to really see that the United States is working with its allies in the international community when dealing with Afghanistan. One of the main criticism that the Biden administration had been facing was the fact that it was going at it alone, and it was isolated in its approach to Afghanistan, and it was isolating the international community. So let's put that aside, one aspect, but there is no shortage of conversation, definitely, during this meeting. We really saw this botched execution on the part of this administration coming out of Afghanistan, and these countries right now that will be taking part are really concerned on what's going to happen moving forward. First of all, will Afghanistan be a safe haven for terrorism? How will the United States, NATO, and the stakeholders right now deal with the security vacuum moving forward? How will engagement with the Taliban be? What about the refugees and those who have been evacuated and have migrated from Afghanistan? How will countries deal with that? And recent developments as well. I think countries will want to know more about the drone strikes that took place in the past 24 hours on the part of the United States, which the U.S. claimed it had killed ISIS-K targets that targeted U.S. Marines, that also reports indicated killed Afghan civilians. Is this going to be ongoing? Will the Biden administration continue Obama's drone policies? And what will be America's foreign policy moving forward? Is it going to be alliances with NATO? So on and so forth. And it's interesting that Turkey is going to be in that meeting, because we had heard reports that Turkey was thinking of working with the Taliban and sort of securing the Hamid Karzai airport to an extent. So, you know, there are a lot of moving rubrics right now, and we'll have to wait and see what comes out of it. But I think if we pull the lens back, this is from the optics of it, it's important that the Secretary of State wanted to hold this meeting first and foremost to tell the American people and show the international community that it really wants to have, and also the Taliban and its adversaries as well, that it wants to put a united front when it comes to dealing with Afghanistan with its allies and partners.
Right. Susan, thank you very much for all the information there and your analysis.
We are now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.